Okay. So I was okay. I just did the math wrong. Okay.
I want it
How
pointed
many did you
out
say
that
you
we've
got?
been sitting here for 10 minutes while Ben's been trying to do math.
Well,
Simple
I got it
math
now.
of counting one, two,
Adding
three,
of
four,
counting,
five.
yes. Fuck off.
I had 14 last week.
I had 20.
I have 22 total, so that's not a good sign. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Nick's Picks, week 3 of the NFL season, and I am joined, as I am always, by Ben. Ben, week 3 of the NFL season is here. Week 2 was a yikes. Well, I mean, for you picking-wise, it was not a yikes, and we'll get into why in a little bit. But as far as like the NFL goes, week 2 was a yikes. Obviously, the Nick Chubb thing was the thing in itself. I mean, Saquon Barkley's probably out for a couple weeks. We saw Anthony Richardson, rookie, who was doing pretty well at the beginning of the season, went down for the rest of that game. Don't really know what his status is, but I mean, regardless, a lot of injuries in week 2, a lot of fuckery going on. Biggest reaction to week 2, and how you doing?
I think, like you mentioned, it's just the injuries, and especially the running backs, because also Austin Eckler also injured his ankle in that game, and then Dobbins for the Ravens.
Oh, and
He's
Dobbins.
out.
Yes, I forgot about that.
He's out
Dobbins,
with
too. He's out for the season.
a lot of teams now saying next man up. That's what we got to do.
But yes, week 2 of the NFL season was a wild one, but Ben, you managed to have a hell of a fucking week last week, putting up a 20 bomb. For reference, I have fucking 22 total on the season. He put up 20 last week. So currently it is 33-22 right now, an 11-point lead for you, Ben. Fuck you, first of all. But I did tell you I was going to let you feel very confident at the beginning of the season, and then we were going to, get to our shit. Let's get into the week 2 recap. It started Thursday night with the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The Philadelphia Eagles barely managed to pull this one out. I love Eagles fans saying this game was closer than the score dictates. So fuck you. No, it wasn't. Kirk Cousins played a great game. Yes, the Eagles managed, surprisingly on primetime. Starting with the Sunday games, the Bills absolutely destroyed the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh Allen did come back. He did give me my 2-point. No interceptions for Josh Allen. So it was a great game for Josh Allen. A great game for Buffalo. Fuck you, Josh Jacobs, for giving me -9 or -2 total yards of rushing for my fantasy team. And a big fuck you to you too, Ben, because the Ravens and the Bengals managed to get a score of 27-24 with the Ravens winning it, meaning you got your +5 bonus, the 4th time this has happened for you in Nick's Picks history compared to my 1 that I've ever gotten. So yeah, you own the score, like getting scores correct. You just,
That's all I can
capitalize on it. That's just the thing. But yeah, the Ravens win this game over the Bengals. If anything, T. Higgins looked better for the Bengals, but like Bengals got to figure this out and soon. This game was kind of underwhelming, but the Chiefs did go on to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 17-9. I kind of expected this game to be like in the 30s or something like that, but both defenses showed up to play, but the Chiefs managed to get this one done defensively.
Yeah, definitely having Chris Jones back helped.
If you don't believe that coaches are the main dictatorship of how well a team does during a season, I don't know if that was a word, by the way, but bottom line, if you don't believe that coaches are important, look at the fucking Los Angeles Chargers, who just lost to the Tennessee Titans. They are now 0-2 on the season with, in my opinion, a top 10, maybe even top 5 roster. And as far as talent is concerned, Staley needs to fucking go. And it's frustrating. I'm not even a Chargers fan, and I have no ties to the Chargers whatsoever. But it frustrates me to see a team with that much potential just getting like just one person dragging them down all the way. I am going to pass the mic over to you here, and you can recap the Falcons and Packers game and talk specifically to Slower while you're doing this.
All right, first and foremost, Slower, fuck you. Second, Nick, fuck you for not believing. I mean, to be fair,
all right. You've been cut off now. You are going to look me in the eye and say Desmond Ridder won that game? Because that's been my only criticism of the Atlanta Falcons is Desmond Ridder.
I will say,
and he has not proved a thing.
He did do better in the second half. He didn't do good in the first half. He did better in the second half.
So did the Giants.
But the main focus was Bijan Robinson and that run game. And the Packers, look, dude, I'm sorry. We should not have won that game. How the fuck did you blow that lead? That's our job.
That the Packers
on,
defense blew that game more than anything. I will say, Slower, you did call that in the comments. You did kind of mention in my comments of our picks from last week that you expected this. So congratulations. You know your team sucks, finally. Honestly, surprised by this. The Seahawks managed to go on to beat the Lions in overtime. Very offensive game. Not a whole lot of defense in this game at all. And I thought the Lions actually had a pretty legit defense after week 1. But it turns out the Lions literally only won that week 1 game because of the Kansas City receivers. Good and bad here for the Lions, but they do walk out with the L at the end of the day. And the Seahawks looked great. Speaking of looking great, but the rest of your team is awful, I feel so bad for CJ Stroud, who is balling the fuck out. He is definitely frontline at the moment. I mean, it's very early, but frontline at the moment for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But there's nobody else on this Houston Texan team, and they lost to Gardner Minshew and the Indianapolis Colts 31-20. They didn't even lose like 17 to like 10 or something like that in a game that you would expect out of like a Gardner Minshew rookie quarterback matchup. Nope. They let up 31 points to Gardner Minshew in this Colts offense.
I feel bad for CJ.
I am not ready and willing to admit yet that Baker Mayfield is back or, you know, the reason that the Buccaneers are 2-0 at this point. Yes, the Vikings are a good opponent. I will give them that. I don't know what happened in that game, but beating up on the Bears isn't impressive to me at all. And Baker, I don't think is the main reason that this team is winning. I think Sean Tucker is no, I'm just kidding. But no, 27-17, the Bucs went on to win that one. The Giants started this football season losing 60-0. That's how they started this football season. In the first 6 quarters of football, 60-0. Luckily, in the second half of this game against the Cardinals, we managed to outscore them 31-8 to win this game. But I don't care how many points we came back from. I don't care if it was like one of the biggest comebacks in Giants history. I was not impressed at all, especially in our defense more than anything. Like, yeah, I understand our offense still is trying to figure it out, but we couldn't figure out how to guard Josh Dobbs, James Conner, and this Arizona offense. Yeah, so they figured that out in the second half, and I'm glad that they did, and I hope that they can carry that into the next couple weeks. But I don't care if we came back from 60-0 and managed to win it. It was the biggest comeback in NFL history. I don't care. There was no reason we should have ever been down that much to Arizona. No reason. 49ers played at the Rams, kind of, sort of. There was more 49ers fans.
They played in the Rams stadium.
If you saw the game, you know what we're talking about. Every fan is red from 49ers colors. So it was a fucking sight, trust me. And the 49ers took that home field advantage and managed to win this game 30-23 over the Rams. I'm sorry, that was just the only thing like of note that I had to bring up in this game, other than the fact that Brock Purdy, again, proving that he is still meant to be there.
He is him.
He is him. Who is not him, Ben? Zach fucking Wilson.
Nope.
And I still feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, or more for the New York Jets than Aaron Rodgers. But I feel bad for all the fans and all that. But
all that hype.
And now the Cowboys have to play up against Tampa, or I think that's who they play. No, they play the Cardinals next.
We'll play the Cardinals. So another easy win.
Fuck's sake. So here's another one that Broncos fans, you have to relate to me in this aspect as a Giants fan. First of all, this game took fucking forever. Like, it was ridiculous how long this game lasted for. Secondly, Broncos fans, if you're going to get pissed off about a pass interference call that didn't get called on the 2-point conversion, but not be pissed off about the fact that you were winning this game 21-3 at one point, I believe it was 21-3 or something along those lines, you're not going to get pissed off by that fact, and you still gave up 35 points to the Washington Commies. I think then you have some other problems. Basically how this game ended after the Broncos converted a Hail Mary down 8 points. They went for the 2-point conversion, and it was questionable. Maybe pass interference, maybe not, but I wouldn't have called it.
I would have, but at the same time, I'm with you.
But that's just it, 50-50.
You also shouldn't have been in that situation.
There's only 2 things that I want to note about this game. Obviously, one, the Dolphins go on to beat the New England Patriots 24-17. Also, thank you, Tyreek Hill, for only catching 60 yards and 5 catches, because I won my work league. Literally because of him. I was up 24 points, so they needed Tyreek Hill to get 24 points, and he got 15. And our 2 Monday night games from last week, and there's 2 Monday night games again this week for some fucking reason, but the Saints went on to beat the Panthers 20-17. Not much to note in this game other than the fact that Bryce Young doesn't look great. And I mean, nobody on the Panthers looks great to begin with. But the Saints play to the level of their opponents. And it seems quite obvious that that's going to continue to happen throughout the season. And finally, the Steelers went on to beat the Cleveland Browns 26-22, especially after Cleveland lost Nick Chubb to the very gruesome injury. Hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he even gets to play football again. Like, it was that bad. But the Steelers went on to win this game. I really don't know much other than the fact that the Steelers defense is just definitely still good. Like, as they always are, the defense is still good. So let's move right into our week 2 predictions. It starts with the Thursday night game, the 49ers going up against the Giants, and we'll make this one quick. There's no fucking shot the Giants win this game.
No. Next game.
Yeah, next game.
Scores are right there. That's it.
Starting off with the Sunday games, the Ravens go on to beat they will go on to beat the Colts, most likely, especially since I'm not even 100% sure if Anthony Richardson's going to play in this game or not, but even if he does, I still have the Ravens winning this one.
Yeah, I have the Ravens winning this one too. I don't really believe in, even if Anthony Richardson was in, I would still pick the Ravens to win this one just because they have a better defense.
We're kind of going to fly through a lot of these picks today because me and Ben pretty much have almost the same predictions for this week. But moving on, the Titans going up against the Browns this week. We both just feel that this Nick Chubb injury is going to affect the Browns, at least for the next couple weeks. So, yeah, I have it a very close game, though.
Yeah, I do, too. I only have it as a 4-point game in favor of Tennessee, but I really feel bad for Nick Chubb, honestly. That's it. No one else in the Browns, really.
After watching that absolute collapse last week against the Commies, I didn't see that there was going to be any way either of us was going to pick the Broncos over the Dolphins either. Dolphins look good.
I was very tempted because the Broncos still looked good. Even, like, you could even argue they almost came back themselves, but Miami just looked better.
Speaking of teams that look good, even though they're 0-2, I can't say that the New England Patriots look that bad. Their offense and Mac Jones do look bad, but there are shining lights on this offense. Their defense, honestly, to me, looks pretty damn good. And the Jets have Zach Wilson.
I actually am going to change my 2-point to this game specifically, but it's not a positive for either quarterback. I'm just going to make that very clear.
Hopefully another bounce back week for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Not bouncing back from last week, but you still have to make up for week 1. Like, your week 2 performance was great, but you need 2 of those to make up for what you did in week 1 because that was just fucking awful. But yes, bounce back against the Commies because I want someone else in the NFC East to lose finally. I'd prefer it to be Dallas or Philly.
Take what you get.
Yeah.
I'll just say, is it 3, like 1 for each interception? That was just god awful week 1.
Yes, he needs 3 games to make up for him. All right, let's get to a differing pick finally. Obviously, this is the 3rd week in a row I'm not picking the Falcons, and potentially the 3rd week in a row I'm not going to get any points on a Falcons pick because I'm not picking the Falcons. Tell me why I shouldn't be picking the Lions here this time, Ben, because honestly, at this point, I'm almost starting to listen to you, other than the fact that Desmond Ridder is deserving to be a starting quarterback. But go on, give it to me.
Well, like you said, I think Desmond Ridder is a starting
I mean, he is a starting quarterback technically. It's
yes.
just whether or not he deserves to be one.
I think it's more so the fact that Atlanta's defense did show up, especially in the second half against the Packers. So
to be fair, your defense had to go up against Jordan Love, so there's an asterisk there.
Fair.
Okay, back to agreeing on pretty much every game. The Saints going up against the Packers. Sorry, Slower. I just think the Saints defense is too much for you. And especially if the Falcons defense was too much for you, the Saints defense is definitely going to be too much for you. The offense is struggling a little bit on the Saints end, but like I said, the Saints seem to play to the opponent's level.
I was like, yeah, I have them winning by 10, but that's only because I just don't believe in the Packers offense.
Do we even need to discuss?
Help CJ Stroud.
Scores are down there.
I feel really bad. I'm over it.
One of these weeks, the Chargers are going to play to their potential, right? One of these weeks?
Not this week.
Not this week. No. The Viking, and I will say this, Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind for the fact that the Vikings are 0-2. So
Weird how it's everyone else on the Vikings. But
yeah, right?
Like normally
it's him, but it is most clearly not him. Seahawks going up against the Panthers. I don't see a fighting shot for the Panthers here. You know, I'm saying this for a whole lot of stuff, and we're probably going to get so many picks wrong this week.
I had such a good week last week. I'm
We're riding
fully
high.
expecting
We're
to
riding
do
with.
terrible.
I had a good week last week too. I just didn't get plus 5 points for getting a score right. Otherwise, I would have only been a point behind you, and that was the Falcons. Going on to my wager pick of the week, I see no shot that the Cardinals win this game. If their offense could play like they did in the first half against the Giants, they'd probably still only put up 7 points in this game against the Dallas Cowboys defense, if that. I got them scoring 17 because I think at some point Dallas is just going to take their foot off the brake or foot off the gas.
Yeah, I have them at least dropping 40, and I think that's probably within the first 3 quarters.
And I also think we should pump the brakes on saying that the Cowboys are the best team in the league just because they're beating the shit out of every team that they're playing. Because I'll even make fun of the Giants here for a second. They haven't played a good team yet. They played the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, and they played the Giants, and now they're playing the Cardinals. And Ben's wager pick, Chiefs and the Bears. I will let you take this one because this is my 2 points, so I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, no. I feel bad for Justin Fields.
I don't. He's not good.
I think
He's not good.
I think he has the talent, but I also think that they need a better offensive coordinator there. But
did you see the play?
I did see that he had someone wide open.
Did you watch the whole play or did you just see the screen?
Oh, I watched it.
Okay, he had 2 people open.
He had 2, yeah. No, I do think that he needs to develop more. But I also think it's the Chiefs.
The Sunday night game between the Steelers and the Raiders. I think the Steelers defense looked great. I think the Raiders offense looked awful. And that's literally what it came down to. Because the flip side of this, the Raiders defense isn't terrible. Yes, they kind of got torched by the Bills last week, but they're not terrible. They can get to the quarterback. And the Steelers offense, I just don't believe in, period. So, this could be a very low-scoring game or a very even game all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I have it at a very low, kind of low scoring, but yeah, I don't believe in the Raiders.
And once again, for whatever fucking reason, we have 2 Monday night games. And once again, the Eagles are getting handed a fucking win because, like I said, I don't believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I will take back everything, though, if they can beat the Eagles. Any team that beats the Eagles is a team of mine. I'm just kidding. But I will take back most of my Buccaneers slander if they manage to beat the Eagles this week. I just don't see it happening. I have it close just because they're in Tampa.
I don't have it. Well, yeah, I have it close as well.
And because the Eagles' offense, it hasn't been phenomenal. I'm not going to say they're bad. They're just not what we're used to. Except for the QB sneak. That shit's still fucking overpowered. And our rematch of Super Bowl 56. And this is kind of ironic. If you go back, this would have been Nick's picks Season 2, the Super Bowl special. If you go back to those picks, Ben also picked the Rams in that one. And I also picked the Bengals in that one. So
oh, really?
We are going right back to those roots. You got it right in the Super Bowl special. I just feel like at some point the Bengals have to start playing like they did the past couple of years because this just doesn't look like the Bengals and it doesn't look like Joe Burrow.
No, yeah. I mean, both teams are kind of rattled with injuries, so I don't expect a lot from this game. Weirdly, I believe in the Rams defense, even though it's Aaron Donald and whoever they picked up from the stands.
And company.
I think that's all you really need.
And finishing out the week with our 2-point conversions. Like I said, I was going to go back to the Chiefs and the Bears game. And this is kind of out there because if Justin Fields throws for anything more than like 175 yards in this game, then Mahomes would have to set an NFL record for me to get this 2-point. But that's just it. I don't think Justin Fields throws for much more than 100 yards, if that. So Mahomes only has to get like 300. Yes, that you can read it down below. Patrick Mahomes will have 3 times as many passing yards as Justin Fields.
All right, mine is going to the absolute offensive showcase that is the Patriots and Jets. Let me rephrase that. The absolute defensive showcase. I don't believe in any of these quarterbacks, and it doesn't help that they're both going against really good defenses. I don't think either Zach Wilson or Mac Jones are going to throw for over 200 yards. I don't think they're going to go over that. I was tempted to go lower, but
no, 200 seems
I believe Mac Jones is, I believe Mac Jones is more of a pro quarterback than Zach Wilson.
I can see this game ending 10-7.
I can see this game ending 6-0.
Well, that will do it for Nick's picks. Week 3 of the regular season. If you guys haven't done it already, drop a like on this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube. As you remember, I post them on both every single time. If you haven't checked out the Superstar series that I've been posting, or I've finally gotten back into posting, go check out those videos. Go catch up on the playlist a little bit. But those videos are out there. Drop a like on those as well. And we will see you guys in week 4 of the regular season. It's still too early to be panicking or being too confident especially you, Ben, with your fucking Falcons. But this NFL season already feels like it is starting to fly by. Blink, and we will be in week 8. So I hope you guys enjoyed Nick's picks, week 3 of the NFL season. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. And Ben, is there anything that you want to say before we head out of here?
No, not really. Other than, like I said before, in Bijan Robinson, we trust. Because that's all I got, honestly.
Have a great one, guys. Peace. Look.
At some point, you're just going to be just fed up with me. And I feel like I'm already there, but you know what?
I can't be too mad because I had finally, in the first time in Nick's picks, all 4 years of us doing this, we finally had one of our teams perform somewhat well. I got to watch the Giants make the playoffs, win a playoff game. Obviously, we were never destined to go to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but it was an exciting season to watch. So for you, I kind of hope that you get to experience that at some point, since the last time that happened for you was,
Your next words very carefully here.
Bye, guys.